Wow, an anti-liberty congressman proposes another anti-liberty, anti-gun bill. Let's go ahead and talk about it. What is up, Wolverines? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if this is the first time you've been here. My name is John Crump, and I'm the heavyweight champion of investigative journalism. And we are brought to you by Patmos and JSD Supply. JSD Supply owns Patmos, and they sell stuff like this, and they make Patmos slides like this. Go ahead and check them out at JSD Supply. If you can do me a big favor, like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps with the battle with the algorithm, who is the supervillain of YouTube. All right, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about today's story. We all know that Congress and the president and the former president, not Trump, the guy before that, wants to shut down banking for firearms. In fact, through things like Fast and Furious and other events like that, they have tried to pressure banks to stop doing business with the firearms market. Also, groups like Moms Demand Action, Everytown, and a bunch of other anti-liberty groups have also pressured banks into not working with the firearms industry. So, what's the big deal, right? They've been pressuring them, and we have been finding new ways, because that's what we do. We adapt and overcome. And one of the new ways is through uses of stuff like Tusk. Tusk is a cryptocurrency focused on the firearms market. It is basically a way around big banks, and also certain companies have started using Bitcoin. I've actually purchased suppressors with Bitcoin, and I've purchased firearms with Bitcoin. But now Congress, and especially a guy named Jim Crow out of Colorado, wants to shut that down. Did I just call him Jim Crow? I meant Jason Crow. I have no idea why I called him that, but he introduced the Firearms Retailers Code of Conduct Act, also known as H.R. 5678 in the U.S. House of Representatives. This bill does a lot of things, but I want to concentrate on the cryptocurrency portion of it. John Petrolino, who is an awesome writer, actually brought this to me. He isn't an expert in crypto. I'm not really an expert either, but I know a little bit about it. So he brought it to me to look into it, and I looked into it. If you want to read his whole entire thing about the bill, you can. It's in the description below. But it stops the retailers from accepting non-US currency. So it means basically that they have to accept the dollar or dollar-based stuff like credit cards, checks, and whatnot, and they can't accept cryptocurrency. And right now we use cryptocurrency to get around a lot of the banking regulations where they try to shut down the firearms market. And in the future, when the antis finally convince Visa, MasterCard, and Discover, and whatever, and they will do it to stop allowing for firearms transactions, they're going to rejoice and say, hey, look, we shut down the firearms market. And then we are in trouble. That's where stuff like Tusk comes in. Tusk is a cryptocurrency that's based on the firearms market. I also went to Rex Silenium and bought a suppressor with cryptocurrency, with Bitcoin, for example. And if this bill gets passed, I won't be able to do that anymore. And then once all the banks shut down the firearms market, we're screwed. We can't do online purchases. We're probably not going to be able to buy in stores unless we go get cash. And then they won't be able to deposit the money, and the firearms market will collapse. And that's their plan. So basically, this provision in the bill is just to shut down cryptocurrency. But it does other stuff as well, which I'm not going to get too much into, but just so you know, it requires that all employees take training every 2 years. There's some safe lock provisions and other things like that. It is really disturbing, though, about the cryptocurrency portion of it. The anti-liberty side always tells us if we don't like their policies, we can go create our own thing. And whenever we do create our own thing, they try to shut it down. Look at Parler, for example. They kicked us off AWS because they didn't like what we were saying. They delisted us from the app stores because they didn't like what we were saying. They have tried to take out any voices that they do not like. So whenever we try to work around them, they push back and say, hey, you can't do that either. It is just something that I wanted you guys to be aware of because I'm sure this bill is going to be everywhere, but I think the cryptocurrency part of this is going to be overlooked. And I want to thank John Petrolino once again for bringing this to my attention. I'm going to be writing an article that's going to be more in depth and everything else like that. Just so you know, I did talk to people in Congress this morning, and this bill is going to be dead on arrival. So don't worry too much about this bill. Sure, go ahead and fight against it, but this isn't the threatening bill that it will be portrayed by a lot of different gun organizations. But what we need to realize is this is the path that they are taking. This is showing us what they are going to move towards. So there will be a war on cryptocurrency, and they are going to try to shut down cryptocurrency for use in the firearms market. All right, that's it for me today. Like, comment, and subscribe. I have a live channel where I do live streams. It's really cool. I host it with my friend Flying Rich, who you should definitely check out his channel as well. I have a Patreon. If you like what I do here, you can go ahead and kick in a little bit of money. I do a lot of investigative journalism. In fact, I'm digging through, which I do have a copy of. Surprise announcement. I'll be making that announcement tomorrow in a short. Shh, don't tell anyone. All right. That said, we are out of here. Stay ever vigilant. Stay ever free. Keeping the fight. I am out. Wolverines, motherfucker.